share with you a place in Pedrógão called Gravito.
So the river Pera is passing through our land. Our land is called Gravito, and there's a story about the river. It's actually not meaning the pear, the fruit pear. It's the name of a princess that used to live in Castanera a long time ago, and apparently she had a real connection with nature. And when she died, she transformed into a beautiful river.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the story.
Miguel and his family takes really good care of this place, and their work here is, in my opinion,
So this is the showers that they build for the people that visit the land, and all the hot water comes from the solar panels, which heat up this big cylinder, and has two beautiful showers there into nature. Where you sit, you poo, and then you make compost that goes back to the land and fertilizes our food. Poo turned into gold.
Show you a bit around the work they've done and the ongoing maintenance and work, and how beautiful it is, and the care that they invested in here. And we'll meet Miguel, and he will share some stories about the adventures in here.
So these upper terrace that you see on the top, it's also part of the land of Gravito, and they have been working with the reforestation of the land, because Portugal is invaded with the eucalyptus, which is really not sustainable and is draining all the water from the land. So they had to dig all that and create all those terraces, and they're digging out eucalyptus and trying to replant other tree species. And they're also working with the water retention in order to keep the soils more watery and avoid the fires.
So it's like the story of the fire in Gravito. You wanted to ask me. The main thing that is quite extraordinary is that first it was a tremendously big fire that came from three sides over the mountains, and was really powerful. It was in 2017 and it burned like more than 70,000 hectares of land, and there was lots of fatalities and everything. It was a really strong, very strong moment that impacted the life of many. It was quite an amazing sight because it was really really powerful, really strong, and I saw, for example, on the top of the hill there, you could see the fire on the edge, and then you can see like a firearm going down and jumping like 50 meters just to go and gulp some air, just to feed itself. And the way it was moving and the way it did that, it was so impressive, and it really felt already like you were facing like an intelligent being, which was quite an impressive sight. And then we had to leave because we had a yoga group here with about 15 women. So we managed to just escape and find a route and protect everyone, and we drove through the smoke, everything went dark. And we had one of the women that was screaming in the car. It was really intense, but eventually we left. And we had to be away for about three days. We couldn't come back because the whole area was blocked and closed. And when we came back, we realized that our house was safe in the middle of the fire, and that all our garden hadn't burnt. And we'd lost some teepees and a tree house on the edge of the property. And then as the day passed, we realized that actually the fire had stopped on exactly where we created some shamanic protection line. And it didn't matter whether it was on clean land or on the bush, the fire just stopped on those lines. And that was a bit of I would say almost like an initiation. It's like there's an expansion of consciousness happening. It is also physical. It's like what we create here in our place, in our garden with the retreat center. It seems like the awareness of our responsibility was around that, and after the fire it kind of expanded itself, and it's like my awareness or my consciousness goes in the landscape, and I feel responsible for the landscape, and I feel part of it in a different way, and I feel like I want to take care of it because it's taking care of myself.
So this is their sacred fire, which is exactly on the cross of two ley lines, so that's energy points. And all these roots that you see around was roots that they digged out after the fires from the land. And they found also these beautiful, huge crystals. The other magical dome where you can host your workshops, so you can also do the yoga inside in case the weather is not so amazing. So there is a lot of different structures in the land which really complement each other and create this unique space.
We kind of moved much more into reforestation, into collaborating with people, into working with other communities and other people that have the same kind of awareness and feel the same kind of responsibility towards the landscape, towards the environment. and so this has been accelerated in the last year, and into various projects that are linked to this, and so that's it had a big impact, and it's like a stepping stones, and so that's why I find as a resume that the fire has been like an amazing blessing to us.
Thank you, Miguel, for having us.
You're welcome.
So with that, we finish our visit to Gravito. If you want to have more information, visit their website and social links, and come and explore the paradise of the countryside of Portugal, because there is a lot of magic to see around here. See you soon.
If you haven't done so far yet, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can follow us on Facebook. And if you're willing to support us financially, you can do so by following the Patreon link. And again, thank you. Until next time.